Welcome to another episode of Mastering Cybersecurity, developed by baremetalcyber.com. Let's dive in. Researcher safety and discretion rely on simple operational security habits that lower risk while you work in public spaces. Operational security, OPSEC, begins with separating identities, which means using dedicated research accounts and isolated browser profiles that never mix with personal or corporate logins. A virtual private network, VPN, plus hardened browser settings reduce passive tracking, while disabling plugins and limiting scripts lowers the chance of leaking signals that reveal intent. Avoid logging into targets, sending connection requests, or reacting to posts because interactions can tip off subjects, skew platform feeds, or create legal and ethical complications. Keep workstations patched, store notes on secure drives, and prefer read-only methods such as screenshots over downloads when documents seem suspicious or volatile. Small precautions protect the researcher, preserve neutrality, and prevent contamination that could otherwise undermine later analysis or disclosure. Skilled searching looks like careful questioning rather than a single broad query fired into a crowded index. Quotation marks constrain exact phrases. Site filters narrow results to specific domains, and file type keywords surface documents likely to contain structured detail such as reports or policies. Date range controls help focus on recent material when timeliness matters, while language filters reveal sources from regions and communities that might hold crucial local context. Good researchers pivot from one clue to another, such as turning a username into an email handle, then into a domain, and finally into posts on a different platform. Each pivot should be logged with the original link, a short note explaining the reasoning, and a timestamp that proves sequence for later review. The discipline avoids heavy automation, honors platform rules, and steadily grows a map of entities connected by concrete, observable relationships. Social platforms hold rich signals, yet they require caution because context, impersonation, and platform dynamics can distort meaning. Profiles can reveal employment history, location hints, unique handles, posting rhythms, and connections that suggest communities, vendors, or partners related to the research topic. Posts may carry images with subtle landmarks, captions with time clues, and threaded replies that expose relationships stronger than public follower counts might suggest. Archival services and platform-native exports help preserve ephemeral content, which supports later verification if posts are edited or removed by the author. Misattribution remains a frequent risk, so names, photos, and claimed roles should be cross-checked against independent sources before drawing conclusions about identity. Treat every screenshot as an unverified lead until corroborated, and document exactly where each item appeared to keep the chain of context intact. Technical footprints connect people and organizations to infrastructure in ways that can be checked without touching protected systems. Domain registration records, often called WHOIS, show creation dates, name servers, and sometimes privacy proxies that suggest patterns when viewed across multiple related names. The domain name system, DNS, maps host names to addresses, and basic lookups reveal mail servers, subdomains, and service records that hinted providers and architecture choices. Internet address ownership information from a regional Internet registry, RIR, can connect addresses to hosting companies or organizations, which helps separate first-party systems from third-party vendors. Certificate transparency, CT logs, list digital certificates for host names, exposing additional subdomains or historical names that never appeared in public marketing pages. Combining these sources builds a timeline and relationship graph that supports careful, non-intrusive understanding of a target's public surface. Geospatial analysis turns place and time clues into grounded checks that either support or challenge what a source claims. Satellite and street imagery provide reference scenes for comparing skylines, road layouts, storefronts, and terrain features that do not change quickly, which improves location confidence. Landmarks, signage styles, vehicle license formats, and vegetation types can narrow regions before closer matching of building shapes and intersections finalizes a likely point. Sun angles, shadow lengths, and weather reports help estimate time windows that either align with posted timestamps or point to reuse of old footage. Transit schedules, construction notices, and local event calendars add context about closures or unusual crowd patterns that may appear in images or videos. The goal is not perfect precision, but sufficient, documented consistency that supports or contradicts a narrative using observable and explainable environmental facts. Multimedia verification protects analysis from the common pitfalls of recycled images, edited clips, and misleading crops that remove crucial context. Reverse image searching can reveal earlier appearances of a picture, while extracting keyframes from video allows similar checks across time and platforms. Exchangeable image file format, EXIF, metadata may show device models, creation dates, or software used to modify images, though it must be treated carefully because it can be altered. Audio waveforms, compression artifacts, and abrupt lighting discontinuities can hint at splicing or synthetic content, which signals a need for additional corroboration before citing the material. Keeping originals separate from working copies and documenting every transformation step preserves integrity, which helps other reviewers replicate the analysis. Multimedia becomes reliable evidence only when provenance is established and claims are tied to reproducible, transparent checks anyone can follow. Public records expand the picture by adding authoritative documents that explain who is responsible for actions, budgets, decisions, and timelines that shape real outcomes. Company filings describe executives, subsidiaries, and material risks, while procurement portals reveal vendor relationships, project scopes, and delivery milestones that influence infrastructure choices. Court dockets and regulatory notices provide verified names, dates, and allegations that require cautious summarizing without suggesting conclusions beyond what the text supports. News archives help establish chronology and public statements, which can be compared against observable technical changes or social media claims for consistency. Breach disclosures and incident reports may name affected systems or partners, yet they should be handled with restraint to avoid needless exposure of victims and sensitive details. Regional access limits and paywalls mean careful paraphrasing and precise citation notes in internal documentation so others can validate without over-collecting content. Good collection habits make analysis faster and final products stronger because context is preserved at the moment of discovery. Screenshots should include the full browser Chrome with the address bar, visible timestamps, and enough surrounding page content to prove location and sequence. Links benefit from archiving through trusted services, so later readers can compare current and captured versions to detect edits or deletions that could change meaning. Simple structured notes record who posted an item, where and when it appeared, and how it connects to the objective, which keeps threads manageable as the volume grows. File naming conventions, unique case identifiers, and clear version labels allow teams to collaborate without overwriting each other's work when multiple people are contributing. Integrity improves when raw captures remain read-only and working copies carry change notes because future reviewers can trace exactly how each conclusion formed. Strong conclusions rest on corroboration, which means independent lines of evidence converge on the same claim without relying on each other. Researchers rate source credibility based on expertise, proximity to events, past accuracy, and potential incentives that might shape what is said or omitted. Patterns of deception often include mismatched dates, inconsistent technical details, or recycled media that predates claimed events by months or years. Balancing recency against authority is important because a fresh rumor can travel widely before an expert record eventually confirms or refutes it with better evidence. Triangulation replaces gut feel with method, so each claim carries a short note explaining which sources agree, which conflict, and what uncertainty remains. This habit builds trust with reviewers and helps decision-makers understand both what is known and what still needs targeted collection. Packaging results well turns raw finds into decisions others can act on with clear understanding of scope and limits. A concise report identifies the question, the time window, and the entities examined, then explains methods in plain language so non-technical readers can follow the steps. Findings link to specific evidence with stable references, while confidence levels are expressed in ordinary terms that describe how much weight each conclusion should carry. Caveats note data gaps, platform constraints, or potential biases, which prevents over-reliance on a single, tantalizing but weak piece of information. Short next steps propose verifiable actions such as monitoring specific domains, contacting named custodians, or requesting logs from a partner through established organizational channels. Clear structure helps the report travel across security teams, managers, and legal counsel without losing nuance, which preserves the careful work already invested. Responsible OSINT turns public information into insight by combining focused questions, careful methods, and steady attention to legal and ethical guardrails. A simple cycle keeps work on track, and small operational security habits protect both the researcher and the integrity of the process. Rich sources across social platforms, technical footprints, maps, and public records become dependable only after corroboration, transparent note-keeping, and clear separation of evidence from interpretation. Strong packaging delivers findings others can verify and apply, with confidence statements that match the strength of the proof collected and reviewed. Beginners who practice these habits build reliable instincts and produce work that stands up under scrutiny from peers and decision-makers alike. The lasting lesson is that disciplined methods make the difference between noise and knowledge in open public spaces. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.